Hey, it's another day, another beautiful day to talk about my experience here as an international student in the United States. And again, I'm making these videos to try to help people in Africa who are trying to come to the United States to study as international students. So I'm trying to use my experience to help guide you, give you some guidance on how to go through this process so you don't have to learn the same lessons that I learned when I got here, all in an effort to try to make your life a lot easier and better, right? You don't need to learn the same lessons that I learned. So today we're going to talk about how you can be a full-time student and also work on campus to support yourself. If you don't come from a really rich background where you came to the United States with so much money on you and you need to support yourself, pay your bills, maybe even have fun. I mean, because as a student, you need to like go out here and there and chill, right? You need some money to do that. One of the ways that we did that, one of the ways that I did that was to work on campus, right? So this video is trying to help people prepare you to be able to do that job, to be able to work and function effectively as an international student. So you don't have to give up one for the other. So for starters, what do you need to? What are the prerequisites to working on campus as an international student? I say the basic qualification is that you have to be a student, right? It doesn't take more than that. I mean, if you're a student, you are eligible to work as an international student. Now, there are laws surrounding that. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to give you the legal perspective. I'm just going to tell you there are laws surrounding working as an international student. But if you are one, if you are an international student, you can work on campus. And to be able to do that, you have to have what is called a social security number. Nobody will legally give you a job in the United States if you do not have a social security card and a different form of ID. So every employer is required to verify that you are here legally and that you are who you say you are, right? So for me, when I got here, the International Students Office of Indiana University, they're really supportive. And I would imagine every university that you're coming to would have an office like that. And those offices are usually very helpful. Please make sure you are contacting your Office of International Affairs a lot. They have answers. If they don't have the answers, they know who to call. In fact, I've gotten a couple of calls from the Office of International Students at IUP when they've gotten some students from abroad, from Africa, that has some specific questions that they thought from my experience I could answer them. They've directed them to me, and some of them have become long-term friends, and we still hang out till date. So the Office of International Students, at least when I arrived as part of the new student orientation, passed us to the Social Security Administration. So you want to find out if your university offers that. If they do, they're going to send you to the Social Security Administration, and that is where you get your Social Security number. So when you go to the Social Security Administration, obviously you have to prove to them that you are who you say you are. That means your passport has to be with you, your I-20 has to be with you, and your I-94. These are all documents that you get when you come here to go to school. I don't think you will get a visa if you don't have the I-20. And when you get to the airport, when you arrive the first time in the United States, they're going to ask you where you're going and those funny stuff at the airport. And by the time you leave the airport, you're going to have your I-94. These documents are very important to you, and you don't want to lose them as an international student. Protect them with your life, right? They are very, very important. So anyway, you get to the Social Security Administration. You gotta have those documents to show them that you are legally allowed in the country and you are a student. And based on that, they will issue you a Social Security number. The card will be mailed to you, to your house, and you. When you go to look for a job, employers would want to see your Social Security card. From what I understand these days, the Social Security Administration will not issue you a card unless you can demonstrate that there is a potential for you to get a job. And if I'm correct, That means you got to go to the potential employer in most universities, and at least in the university that I attended, the cafeteria, the dining hall, they usually give those letters because students form their employee base, so they know they're going to be counting on the students to help them with the labor that they need. So they will give you that letter, or somebody else within the university that can employ you will give that letter. You go to the Social Security Administration with those credentials, you will get a card. Then now that you have a card, I mean, the next logical question is, what are the type of jobs available to me as a student? My answer to that is going to be based on who you are and your taste and what you're willing to do, right? For starters, legally, you're not allowed to work off campus if you're an international student, and you are only allowed to do 20 hours a week. So, with that limitation in mind, I'm going to say the jobs that are available to you include the cafeteria, the dining hall, and I'll tell you why I work there, right? The library is a place that you can work on campus. The health center is a place you can work on campus, and I've worked at the campus. The bookstores, and there are a lot of bookstores on campus that you can work. There are other stationery stores. There's food selling places like the coffee shops, other like pizza places, some gas stations that are on campus. And basically, each department in the university relies on student labor. So they do have menial jobs, or even sometimes it's not menial, but they have jobs that they hire students to do. So if you're here and you're looking for a job to support yourself, these are the places to look. And they always say that early bird catches the worm. That is also true in this case. Every employer is going to be employing until they don't have any space. So if you're here early and you start applying, you might be one of the first few to get a job. All these jobs are going to get filled up. I'm going to tell you that. You're living in a campus of over 10,000 people. A lot of people are looking for jobs. So if you don't take advantage of what is available to you in real good time, somebody else would. All right, so you get your card, you apply for the job. Sometimes they interview you, sometimes they don't. And the interviews that I have attended for on-campus jobs are usually pretty simple. Whether you can do the job that they have. I've made hoagies before. They just told you take a bun and put stuff in it, right? And now I'm an expert at making hoagies. Like, I don't think I've eaten one before, but I make them, right? So those are the kind of questions they'll ask you just to see whether you're able and willing to do the job that they have available to you. Now, I gotta tell you this though, working in the dining hall, it was the most popular thing amongst international students in Indiana University of Pennsylvania, where I went to school. And even if it were not the most popular place to work, it would be for me for a one simple reason. When you work at the dining hall, you get to eat for free, right? So for me, the thought process was, okay, I get to eat for free and you pay me on top of it, right? So I get money and I don't have to spend it on food. There really isn't a way to go wrong with that, right? So I was working at the dining hall and I was eating at the dining hall. And in fact, the type of jobs that I did there was the first thing I did was washing dishes. I am a really good dishwasher, right? I mean, talk about taking pride in your job, man. I could wash a dish that you look at it even with no food on it, you feel like you're satisfied already. And not only that, I could tear down the dishwashing machine and scrape all the dirt out of it. Like, I took pride in what I did, right? You have to own it. You have to show that you enjoy what you're doing. That's what will make it fun. So every time I've committed myself to doing something, I do it really well. Like, I was really good at dishwashing. And when I wasn't washing dishes, I was doing what was called bev running, and basically refilling the beverages stands for the students who come to eat in the dining hall. So I go check the milk stand. If it's empty, I refill it. The Pepsi, the Coke, whatever the drink stand is, that was part of my job. And then the ultimate was learning how to make hoagies. Yeah, so I'll make the hoagies and put them up for the students to eat. And I love doing everything I sign up for. And again, like I said, they paid me and I ate for free. So I loved it, right? I wasn't spending my money on food. Then eventually, one of the crown jewels of working on campus, if you like, is to become a graduate assistant. If you are a graduate student, some of these you can even apply for them while you are at home before you get to the country. They have real good deadlines that you have to be mindful of, and you have to have like really good grades to qualify as a graduate assistant. But if you do get to be hired as a graduate assistant for any department in the university, not only are you going to be getting paid a stipend every 2 weeks, you actually get to go to school for free, right? So much later in my academic studies here in the United States, I became a graduate assistant. But before then, I was like really working hard in the dining hall. I worked at the bookstore. I worked at gas stations. Some international students actually work in assisted living facilities where they help the elderly and some of the sick, not people who don't feel too good and need help, right? So there are these type of jobs around campus, and if you need to support yourself, those are the places to be looking at when you get here. The other thing you want to be mindful about is how you're going to get paid, right? And in the United States, nobody pays you in cash, right? So all of your pay is either going to go into your bank account, the direct deposit, or they're going to give you a paycheck. They'll send it to your home address. So I would suggest you look at opening a bank account as soon as you get here. In a lot of the schools, the international students office will help you set up a bank account. The banks nearby know that they have students, and their audience or their market is a student base, so they tend to have programs in place to help students open bank accounts. If they don't, or if you're not aware of one, ask your international students office. They'll be able to direct you to one or to a bank that can help you with that. But you do need a bank account to so you can get your payments sent there. Otherwise, you get a paycheck. They will mail the check to your house, and then you gotta have to take the check to check cashing businesses such as Walmart. And I do believe you're gonna pay a fee for them to cash your check for you. So, for me, it's not good to give your money to somebody so they can give you your money back, right? So having a bank account is really important, and you want to look seriously into having a bank account. The last thing I want to say is about the legalities around surrounding work. Right, you are only allowed to work 20 hours a week, and you are only allowed to work on campus. You're not allowed to work off campus. So I would say take advantage of it. And I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. 20 hours a week wasn't gonna cut it for me. So there were times I had to work maybe 80 hours. Like I found different ways of doing the 80 hours. Some of the businesses on campus will let you take overtime here and there. I would take any available overtime. And there were instances I had to get more than two jobs at the same time just so I can make up the hours. In fact, I remember one instance where my manager came and warned me on the number of hours that I was putting in. But I told you I needed the money. So if you're gonna pay me for the job, I'm gonna do it, man. I needed to support myself. I needed to have fun, and I needed to study comfortably. So working a lot and getting more money was a way to do it. So I'll stop here, and I'll tell you if you have a question or a comment, please put it under the comment section. I will answer all questions that you may have if you intend to come here and study and work as an international student. If I don't know the answer, I know people that I can talk to who will help me with the answers. So please, once again, put your comment and subscribe, share the video to your friends and family. Let people who want to come and study here have this information. It's important. You don't have to learn the same lessons that I learned, right? And with that said, I want to say thank you once again for watching this video, and let me know what you think about the videos, and we'll keep making them. We'll help people learn a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.